Hey, what's going on, wonderful people of YouTube? This is Keith and you're watching Barber's Auto Help. Today I'm going to show you 3 quick and easy ways to check for a bad fuse. Of course, the most simple method for checking for a bad fuse would be a visual inspection. Usually your fuses will look something like this. It's got clear plastic and you can see right through to the fuse there, and you can see that one's intact. Here's an example of a bad fuse, that blue, and you can see that it's missing a section inside there, so that fuse blew there. Not all of your fuses look like that though. You could have fuses that are like this. It's got 3 legs, which is basically 2 fuses in one with the same amperage rating there, but you can kind of see in there and see the little fuse inside on both sides. This one's intact, and then you've got some that are like this. You can just look through the little window there and see if the fuse blew that way. So that's the simplest way. Now the easiest way would be to use a test light, of course. I'll show you how to do that. So if you're not familiar with a test light, it's pretty simple. It's just a long cable with a light bulb in it and a probe. And the negative side of it, which is the clip side here, goes to the negative battery cable or a good ground somewhere else on the chassis or the engine. And you use this end here to probe for power. So if you hook it up to the positive battery clamp there, you'll see that that light inside lights up. Now, some of your fuses in your fuse box will be hot at all times. Some won't be hot until the key is turned to the on position or the run position or the start position. So it's all relative to when they're supposed to be hot, whether or not this test will work for you. Now, I've got a good example of a fuse that's hot all the time. It's this 20 amp one right over here, and we're going to touch the tip of that probe to that side of the fuse there. You see, you've got to touch the metal part. The light is lighting up. Now, if the fuse inside there is good, I should have power on the other side also. And I do. So that fuse right there is testing out good with a test light. And if you have other fuses like this one right here, it's not hot all the time, so you'll have to turn the key on or to the run position or to the start position, or use your manual, find out when the particular fuse that you're checking is hot. So you'll have to have the fuse hot to check it. So that one doesn't have any power on either side of that fuse there. So, but if I turn the key to the on position, it will probably light up. Now, if you're testing a 2-in-1 fuse, such as this one here, you see that it's got 3 sockets on the top there with metal in it. You want to have power on all 3 of those. If you got power on 2, then one side of the fuse is busted. You want to have power on all 3 of those. So that's very similar to the two prong fuses over there. You just got 3 prongs. You got to have power on all 3. Now, for a fuse such as this, you really can't probe it with a test light to see if it's okay. So you're out of luck with a test light on this one. However, if you've got a volt ohm meter, you could use a volt ohm meter to test it. And the only reason you would have to use a volt ohm meter to test this is if the top of the fuse is all clouded like those. You can see I can't really visually check those. So the best way to check that would be to use a digital volt ohm meter to see if you have continuity through it. So we got our digital volt meter here, volt ohm meter, excuse me. We're going to go ahead and set it to ohms. Now we're going to test what kind of resistance we have in our leads here. And you can see I've got 0.2, 0.1-ish, 0.3-ish roughly. I'm moving it around. So that'll give you a good idea of what you want to see when you test for continuity on this fuse here. You want to see it close to what you just saw there. So I'm going to touch one end on that leg and touch the other end on that leg, and we got perfect continuity through this fuse here. So that fuse is a good fuse there. Now on a fuse like this one, you could also do the same thing. Of course, you can see real well in there that fuse is not blown, but sometimes they can be deceptive, and you could have high resistance in there or an open circuit and it looks like it's still together. It's happened to me a couple of times, not very often, but it does happen. So it never hurts, just go ahead and check. One lead on that one lead on this one, and we got negative 0.1, and that's because I'm touching it. but that fuse is good there. If you have some alligator clips you could put on that, that'll keep it from giving you a bogus reading like that. That's not actually correct. But yeah, that's it. All right, so that's 3 different ways that you could check for a bad fuse. Now, this is only a few examples of a few fuses that you might come in contact with. These are typically the ones that you will see on automobiles. There are different ones, but the gist is the same. It's similar. You got to have continuity going through it. If you don't have continuity, it's a bad fuse. So however you got to check that, go ahead and check it. Guys, thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, just comment down below. Please read the entire description of this video before you apply any of this knowledge or attempt any of this. There's a lot more very important information down there that you need to know before you apply or attempt this. If you're watching this video on a platform other than youtube.com, you may need to go to youtube.com/Barber's Auto Help. Find this video there, and the description will be beneath it. Please read it. Thank you, guys.